Hi, welcome to Revenue Marketing Television. I am your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of Pedowitz Group. Today we have with us Kyle Lacey, who is Vice President of Marketing for Lessonly. Kyle, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Oh, you bet. And I know you're braving a cold today, so really thank you for being a gamer. So,
Absolutely.
Lessonly, cool company. Tell us a little bit about it.
So Lessonly's headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we are a online training platform. So that means that we help companies all over the world with training their employees. We specifically focus on sales teams at high-growth software companies and customer service teams at consumer-based companies. So any team with high churn, quicker onboarding, they need better productivity, whether that's increase in sales or an increase in NPS score. That's kind of where we focus as a company. We have 85 employees, about 5 years old, and that's about it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what some of your priorities are as Vice President of Marketing.
Yeah, so I have a team of 9, and our focus stretches across the entire journey. So from the point where somebody enters a funnel as a prospect to when they become a customer to when they become a bigger customer, which in the software world, that's all we want, right? We want great customers that expand. So my role in particular is strategy as well as product marketing and leading the team. And I have a team. We have 2 teams. We have a demand gen team that focuses on top of the funnel, and we have a brand team that focuses on culture and the overall story of Lessonly. So we touch every part of the customer journey from start to finish.
Okay. And so from strategic priorities, what are some of the things that you're really focused on in 2018?
We have our first conference coming up in April. It's here in Indy with 250 people. That's a huge
yeah, it's a big deal, those conferences, sure.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's going amazing right now. So that's in April. It's next month. And then mostly it's positioning and messaging in the market. We're in a very competitive market in the learning management space, and the market's getting bigger because we're having people like Salesforce and Amazon kind of talking about how corporate training is really important for any business. And so it's really my goal is how do we continuously and rapidly improve our messaging and story in the market so that we differentiate from our competitors. And ultimately, that's my job when I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed, and probably when I dream as well.
Yeah, so I think a lot of marketers always wish for having just that whole wide open market, and they could be the only player in town and experiment with all kinds of stuff. But so what are some of the things that you're doing? Because, yeah, you're right. I mean, LMS, I get calls once a week from different LMS vendors out there. So how are you positioning yourself, and what's unique and special about Lessonly?
So many LMS providers go after the entire org. So they usually sell to HR and L&D teams, learning and development teams. Lessonly focuses on very specifically team training. So we aren't selling to be an HR tool or talent management tool. We are specifically frontline team training. So whether that's a sales team, customer service team, it's the people that have boots on the ground that are talking to customers constantly. So that's how we kind of position against LMS. Other than that, we have a practice component to our product where sales team can practice pitch emails, where you can practice chat, where you can practice written responses, or even like video, like we're doing right now. You can practice video response. So how is a salesperson going to pitch a product in person, and then that manager can give that feedback? So the way we're positioning it is like it's more about scalable coaching than it is anything else, because anybody that is in a high growth environment, you're hiring people like crazy, and it's really important that you can try to scale your skill set as a manager, and that's what Lessonly does. And most LMSs, they focus on the knowledge development side, but they don't go any deeper than that.
Okay. So you mentioned you had 9 people. So what are you recruiting for? What kinds of skills? And then how have you organized your team?
We recruit for proactivity. That's probably the biggest thing. We use PI, predictive index, to do some type of personality profiling beforehand. But the biggest thing is, can you be proactive in a fast-paced environment? So that's what we recruit for, whether that's designers or web dev or demand gen or field marketing. The team's set up into 3 different teams. You have product marketing, you have brand, and then you have demand gen.
Okay.
And within each of those teams is different A players that have specific responsibilities that they're tasked with.
All right. And what are you measured by? What are you held accountable for from your boss? And then what do you in turn hold your team accountable for?
Ultimately, revenue. Marketing, since we touch every point of the customer life cycle, I'm going to start over there.
Go ahead. That's all right.
Okay. Yeah. So we're managed on pretty much revenue, because I made it a point to make sure that marketing was involved in every point along the customer life cycle. So inbound, it specifically has a revenue number. We have marketing qualified lead. We have a first meeting number. We have a sales qualified lead number. We've got a opportunity number. And then we look at how we're influencing expansion of revenue on the other side of the contract. So if we're dropping in any of those parts, it's really how can we become more involved in the process so that we are not just I think marketing a lot of times is looked at as just a lead driver, and I believe marketing fundamentally is brand. And if you focus on brand from start to finish, you can win a market because of it. And that's kind of what we're measured on.
Okay, nice. So as you continue to scale, are there certain business processes you're focusing on more than others?
Yeah, a lot, to say the least.
Yes, everything.
I feel like we have a new business process every day, honestly.
Let me guess, there's a whiteboard to the right of you or something, and there's they're all written down. And
there's actually 3 or 4.
Okay.
So from a marketing perspective, we change our business processes weekly. We work off of 1-week sprints, and if we see a process that's breaking at any point, we try to change that in that week. So I don't have a list of the business processes that we focus on. It's just we have very set objectives as a team, and if we see something breaking in between product and marketing, or marketing and sales, or sales and product, or marketing and CX, our customer service team, we try to fix those right there. Most of them are built within Salesforce, the CRM, so our CRM tool. So we are constantly trying to evolve those processes and making sure we have a center of excellence for our Salesforce process, because ultimately data is the only thing that matters when it comes to how you measure yourself.
Kind of does help, yeah.
Yeah. So our processes change all the time, and that's why I love the point that our business is at right now, at least our size.
So you mentioned Salesforce as one of the technologies. Are there other platforms or tools you're using in marketing?
We have a lot. So we use Lead Genius for lead development and enrichment. We use Terminus for ad delivery. We use, of course, Google Analytics. We use Autopilot for marketing automation. Salesforce is our CRM. We have Hotjar for heat mapping on the website. We also have plenty of other ones. Visible for attribution modeling.
Your team told you there was going to be a quiz on this, right? So you're going to have to.
I think that the underlying problem here is that I can't remember half of them. So that should tell you something. We use Typeform and FormStack for our form management, and then WordPress for our website, Pantheon for our hosting.
And it's all beautifully integrated together, converging into a database, right?
Yeah, we don't have any problems with integration.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. So tell me a little bit more. I mean, obviously, a software company, you're trying to keep customers for a long time, subscription revenue. But how are you approaching lifecycle marketing? Because you're still trying to get a lot of new logos, of course, as you're in high growth mode. But walk me through what you're doing with your resources to engage the customer across the full life cycle?
So we do a lot of direct mail. I am a huge proponent of it. I think it works. If you
Direct
do it
mail.
well.
All right, 2018.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do a lot. So that works for us. We do very targeted, very creative direct mail pieces. I have a very creative team that can come up with stuff. I think that the biggest issue across all digital marketers, especially in software, is that they focus so much on top of the funnel when the value of a software company comes in retention. If you can retain businesses at 120% of ARR, of our annualized revenue, then you are a much more valuable software company. So we focus a lot, like 70% of our time is focused on lead gen, but that 30% that's focused on customer service and the customer experience is something that we are putting more time and energy in. I would like to see that probably more 50-50 than 70-30 right now. But direct mail, we do a lot of Terminus ads. We do a lot of nurturing through, we do a lot of content sponsorship through associations.
So tell me, direct mail, are you doing this in-house? Do you work with a print house provider? Are you doing this digitally, custom mailers?
Yeah, we have a provider called the Wellington Group out of Kansas City. They do all of our fulfillment. We do, and they are 3D pieces. So this quarter we did a Golden Llama campaign that was just a little, llama's our mascot. It's just a little golden llama that we've sent out 500 now that were all spray painted gold by us. And they're really working because they're not a sales pitch. It's like, here's a golden llama. We give the golden llama at Lessonly to people who deserve it, that work hard. Give your golden llama to somebody else and share it. We also have swag boxes that we have a form within our content portal that salespeople can fill out for 3 or 4 different types of direct mail. And those can be sent whenever they want. They just have to fill out the form for prospects. And then we have, of course, just the normal swag that we take to events. In a perfect world, we would have that more automated, using more of like a Sendoso or a PFL to automate some of that stuff up front. But right now, it's very hands-on.
Okay. So what's that? So there's no call to action on the llama? You just send it out and give it, and then you...
Yeah, I mean, the call to action is share it on social.
Okay.
Because after that, we sent 3 postcards that were more case study oriented.
Got it.
So I worked at a company called ExactTarget that was an email service provider that got bought by Salesforce, and I learned so much there. And the one thing that I learned overall was that brand wins. You could do all the demand gen you possibly could want, but if your brand is crap, you're going to lose in the long run. So we spend a ton of time and energy cultivating our brand in the market so that we're seen the way we want to be seen and making sure that that's different from everybody else. And ultimately, if you can figure that out, you will beat the market. And so that's why direct mail to us works. We have other direct mail that's very CTA oriented. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Golden Llama was the first one that was more brand.
Okay.
But we have prospects sharing it on LinkedIn, pictures of who they gave their Golden Llama to. And, talk about lead gen. You just search the comments and the likes of people who are liking that, and you find a wealth of people to start contacting.
That's really cool. So now is your name attached to that Golden Llama, or it's just hashtag Golden Llama?
No, it's hashtag Golden Llama. We asked them to add at Lessonly, but it's not that important, because if we're following that hashtag, we'll just retweet it.
Okay.
Say thanks, or we'll share it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. One of the favorite things I love about the show is I ask a similar set of questions, but there's never the same set of answers. And I just love some of the contrarian things that you're doing and how you're approaching about marketing and the way that you're interweaving brand with demand gen. And then you're also just using some older conventional techniques, because I know a lot of people are like, today, wow, direct mail? Like, no. So that's really cool.
Well, we're both marketers, right? It's about telling a story. and it's not about selling something. I mean, ultimately, I want everybody to buy our training product, right? But it's about telling Leslie story so that people get bought in the culture of how we go about doing business. Because our software is just as competitive as everybody else in our space. And the only thing that differentiates us is the story that we tell. And I think that 3D objects in the mail is a hell of a lot different than just a banner ad on ESPN. And if you can connect those two together, then you have a really powerful story, as long as you're not just trying to sling your wares everywhere. I mean, it's just trying to figure out how to get through the noise is probably the biggest issue that we have overall.
I think that's got to be a new tagline. Do not sling your wares. So that's good.
I'm not even sure if sling's a word.
Yeah.
So
but it could be now. It could be, so hashtag Schling. Yeah, so no, it's very cool. Well, your insights were brilliant. Really appreciate you coming on the show today. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
You bet.